In recent days, something extraordinary has been happening on the farm where we live. For some unknown reason, our animals were disappearing and our crops were found destroyed overnight. All signs pointed in one direction: wild pigs. These stubborn creatures, which we had been dealing with for years, had become even bolder, almost challenging our territory. This morning before 5 a.m., we were ready with our hunting team, everyone checking their guns, our dogs jumping impatiently. Our target was clear: to find and stop the huge herd of wild hogs that were wreaking havoc on our farm. The engines of our ATVs hummed and broke the silent morning. We made our way through the fog into the swamp, where it was extraordinarily quiet, with only the occasional barking of dogs to let us know they had caught the scent. Then we saw a large movement in the bushes ahead. When we looked through our thermal binoculars, we realized that a gigantic pig was advancing right in front of us. My pulse quickened, but we had to stay calm, as we were trained to do. We quickly set up an ambush. At that very moment, if you don't want to miss such exciting moments, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. The moment we were waiting for came. The first bullet ripped through the air, followed by several more bursts of gunfire. The pig collapsed, but the others panicked and ran in all directions. My teammates and I quickly changed positions and set off in pursuit to catch the fleeing pigs. As we went deeper into the forest, we were getting bogged down in swampy mud with every step, but we couldn't afford to give up. The wild pigs were not only destroying our fields, but also the surrounding villages. If we didn't stop them, the damage would grow exponentially. As we moved forward, following the tracks, suddenly the fierce barking of our dogs rang out. We immediately got into position. Right in front of us, a huge landmass, almost the size of a motorcycle, was speeding towards us. Scared? Never! I raised my gun, held my breath, and squeezed the trigger. The pig fell to the ground in a rage. But this was only the beginning. There were many more creatures to face. As the air grew heavier and the smell of earth became more pungent, our team cornered a new group of pigs. With the dogs surrounding them, they had nowhere to run. We winked at each other. Together, we opened fire simultaneously. Screams and the sound of heavy bodies echoing in the earth rippled through the forest. If you love these moments and don't want to miss such hunting adventures, don't forget to like our videos and subscribe to our channel. By the end of the first day, we were exhausted, but our success motivated us even more. But it was too early to relax. The next morning before sunrise, we set off again. This time we were heading further north into the forest, where pigs were more common. Walking carefully through the trees, we found fresh tracks on the ground. They had passed only a few hours before. We immediately gave chase. When we reached the slope of a hill, we saw 4 or 5 pigs cooling off in a small hole below. After a brief exchange of signals with my teammates, everyone got into position. Breaths were held, fingers on the trigger. I fired the first shot, and when my bullet hit, the rest of my teammates fired right after. We knocked down one boar as it tried to escape down the slope, while the others didn't get far thanks to our dog's quick pursuit. These quick and decisive shots, echoing in the depths of the forest, were a testament to our experience. When we stopped for a rest, one of our team looked ahead with his binoculars and shouted, "There!" Another group of pigs. We were more prepared this time and quietly got into position. If you're curious about how impressive such surprise raids are, we highly recommend subscribing to our channel. When the herd of pigs ahead spotted us, they made a move to escape, but we were already surrounded. I took aim from behind a tree and knocked down the first pig. Then, in cooperation with our dogs, we managed to catch the rest. Everyone's faces were tired but happy. We safely collected our catch and carried it to our vehicles. Each victory not only protected nature, but also ensured the safety of our farms and villages. Evening was beginning to fall. It was getting darker and darker in the forest, the shadows of the trees lengthening and blending together. This was the most dangerous time of the day. The wild pigs became bolder and more aggressive in the dark, but we were ready. As the team moved forward in silence, suddenly one of our dogs let out a sudden bark. Everyone dropped to the ground, and we began to listen to the sounds in our ears. There they were, a few meters away from us, huge pigs moving slowly behind the bushes. They were trying to approach us with stealthy, silent steps, but we made our move before they noticed us. Jack fired the first shot. Soon after, I took aim and squeezed the trigger. The bullets hit their mark, and angry growls rose from the bushes. A wounded pig screamed and tried to run away, but our dogs quickly gave chase. This chase in the darkness of the jungle brought the adrenaline to its peak. If you want to hear your heart beating with excitement while watching, be sure to subscribe to our channel. As I was running ahead, a pig passing in front of me seemed to hit me. In a split-second reflex, I jumped to the side, aimed my rifle, and fired. The pig staggered but was still struggling. The endurance of these creatures was incredible. I ran a few steps after it, found the right angle, and fired a second shot. This time I succeeded, and as the huge body fell to the ground, all was silent again. I looked back and saw that my teammates had also made successful shots. A few motionless bodies lay on the ground, but our dogs were still barking forward, so our work was not yet done. We quickly regrouped, and with a little signaling, we formed a new formation. We started moving into the darker, denser part of the forest. With each step, we paid more attention to the ground, the slipperiness of the wet leaves, the possibility of a sudden attack by another lurking pig. All the risks were there, but we were not going to stop. At that very moment, a large black figure burst out of a bush ahead. It was so fast that I only saw it for a moment. My reflexes kicked in automatically. I raised my gun, held my breath, and fired. The bullet hit the body, and the pig rolled to a stop. Mabel came up to me and shouted, "Great shot!" These moments were both dangerous and proud. That's why, if you don't want to miss such real hunting stories, support our channel. Night had completely fallen. The sky was full of stars, but inside the forest, we could see almost nothing. Thanks to the thermal cameras and night vision binoculars, we still had the advantage. We all held our breath when a warming mass appeared on the thermal screen ahead. This was no ordinary pig. It was obvious from its size, its movements, the way it acted, almost like a leader, the head of the herd. We immediately got into position. He was not an easy target. He was surrounded by smaller pigs as his bodyguards. We quietly worked out our plan. First, neutralize the smaller pigs around him, and then focus on the main target. With the first shots, the smaller pigs panicked and ran away. That's when the big pig made a mistake. Instead of running away, he charged straight at us. This is the true face of the wild. These creatures never give up when cornered. A cloud of dust rising from the ground, growling noises and huge footsteps. The whole team knew only one thing. It was us or it. The first bullet missed its target. The second, the third. The pig was still running. At the last moment, I took aim in cold blood. Eyes on the scope, finger lightly on the trigger. The bullet went straight through his neck. It took a few more steps with its huge body and then collapsed. For a moment, everyone was silent. Then the joyful barking of the dogs and the applause of my teammates filled the night. Our hands, our faces, our clothes were covered in mud, blood, and dust, but we felt an indescribable sense of victory. We would never forget this night. And if you want to be part of such real hunting adventures, join our channel and don't miss our videos. When the huge body of the pig fell to the ground, we all took a deep breath. But nothing was easy on this hunt, because as soon as the forest became quiet, the danger began again. Our dogs ran forward with their snouts glued to the ground. It was a sign that we weren't done yet. At first we moved softly. The moonlight danced among the trees, and a gentle breeze rustled the dry leaves. With every step, it felt as if the heart of the forest was beating. Then, suddenly, we sensed rapid movement to our right. Two small pigs rushed past us and tried to escape without us noticing. Our reflexes kicked in instantly. Guns were pointed. Aim was taken. I fired the first shot. One of the pigs trying to escape through the bushes fell to the ground. The other one zigzagged away, but Jack fired his rifle just in time to take out the second target. We were encouraged by this success, and just then I saw another movement through the trees. A mother pig with several cubs was trying to move forward. These scenes always made our hearts ache. We didn't want to harm the cubs, so we immediately communicated and decided to target only the mother. With perfect cooperation, we isolated the mother pig. With a single shot, she was down. The cubs scattered into the forest, confused and frightened. Hunting is about the balance of nature, and we had always adopted respecting nature as our first principle. We hunted with this consciousness and lived with this consciousness. If you want to experience the true spirit of hunting in harmony with nature, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. As we moved deeper into the forest, the air grew colder. Our breaths were mixing with the air like fog, but the adrenaline was overpowering the fatigue. Because we were all aware of one thing, the biggest pigs usually come out in the darkest hours of the night. We slowly climbed a hill. A wide clearing stretched out in front of us. In the darkness, our thermal cameras detected movement. And there it was, another giant. We immediately got into position. But this time, there was something different. This pig was more cautious than the others. He smelled us. He lifted his head and sniffed the wind, pausing as if sensing danger. In moments like these, patience is everything. You have to take your breath in silence, without moving a finger on the trigger. I was watching him through my binoculars. I was trying to decipher his movements. Finally, he made a small mistake. He put his head down and took a step or two. This was my chance. I squeezed the trigger. The bullet went straight into the back of his shoulder. The huge animal took 2 steps back with a scream, then collapsed. The noise filled the whole clearing. It was as if the earth shook. The team looked at me in silence. No one spoke for a while. Then Jack put his hand on my shoulder and said just one sentence. That was great. These moments are the true spirit of hunting. Danger, patience, skill, and the ability to make the right decision at the right time. If you don't want to miss these real hunting adventures, make sure you support our channel. This hunt was over for us that night, but the forest was still alive. And we knew that after every victory, a new struggle begins. Because nature does not stop. And we weren't going to stop either. Later that night, deep in the forest, there was silence. But this silence was a harbinger of impending danger. The team was tired but alert, ready for any new movement at any moment. Thermal cameras showed heat signatures moving through the trees. They signaled the approach of a new pack. Our dogs began to follow the tracks with their noses close to the ground. The team was moving in silence when they heard rustling in the trees, and everyone stopped and listened. A few seconds later, a large herd of pigs burst out of the bushes. This sudden movement sent the adrenaline to its peak. The team members quickly got into position. Jack fired the first shot, followed by the others. The pigs tried to escape, but they were surrounded. After a few minutes of chasing, most of the herd was neutralized, but the lead pig was still missing. This was the most dangerous member of the herd and was usually the last to show up. The team kept moving forward with increased vigilance. After a while, the thermal cameras detected a large heat source. This was the lead pig. The team quietly approached and took up position. The pig seemed to sense danger by sniffing its surroundings, but the team waited patiently. When the moment was right, they took aim and fired. The bullet hit the pig in the shoulder. The wounded animal took a few steps and then collapsed. This successful hunt boosted the team's morale, but there were still dangers deep in the forest. The team continued to move forward cautiously. Every step meant a new trail, a new sound, a new danger. But the team was prepared for the challenges of nature. The hunt was not over. Because night is different in the forest, and we knew that hunting in the dark of night requires courage and caution. In the silence of the night, we started making preparations to track a new hunt.